The universe of hip-hop and love did we only observe since this isn't the case. No wig tug, no brunch battle, no petty shade. This is located right here in the parking lot. Was that a full-fledged ATL slap saga? Mendy and cameras rolling while wearing heels, swinging as if security had taken Rasheeda, arrived prepared to spend the night off. Examine Yandy, but left with her face's handprint and her fingernails in a hummus platter, and her reputation in jeopardy by a thread and the person who brought it. Mendy sees the damage, so he says, yes, hold on. When did Rasheeda become bold, sufficient to confront Yandy, and who gave Mendy the all clear to go? In a room full of people, don't touch my queen. Of DJs, executives, and influencers, still Afrobeats are playing in the background. This wasn't a party, folks. It was a battlefield, and the video that was leaked sponsors eat IDs while trembling on the streets. Get some popcorn and push on dot nails and your Twitter burner, 'cause sweetie. What happened next wasn't a strong NDA sufficient to conceal it prior to the smack that reverberated over the Atlanta skyline before the green room. Audio that was leaked before. There were emergency reunions and hashtags. It's just a typical hip-hop and love party, as we had assumed. But if you know, do you know anything about this franchise? Parties are never simply parties. They are areas of conflict with bright red illumination, cups, and emotional snares masquerading as toast. Let's go back in time to when Rasheeda was the first one. The boss girl is the brunch queen. Shadow, contour lines, and passive harsh confessions. Although in recent years, word has been circulating that something is wrong, she feels as though Yandy has been replaced. Smith Harris was formerly a featured guest on the L Whole Universes NYC side, which has been climbing up the Atlanta power rankings, stealing brand deals, and climbing the ladder of screen time and purportedly intruding on Rasheeda's toes in manners that were not concealed behind a grin and a drink of mimosa. The conflicts behind the scenes were Yandy, bubbling, had just ended a rumored six-figure collaboration with Rasheeda's beauty brand, watching for months. And when the video of Yandy and Mona Scott's leaked, talking about potential future growth, prospects in Rasheeda's hometown was finished. Rasheeda felt cold, disregarded, and abandoned, particularly when the boss girl feels like she's in a tight spot. A whale she comes for Kirk babies next. Without even asking, man has been more subdued than a rumor has it that the phone is on Do Not Disturb. He has been keeping his distance from the drama as well as from Rasheeda, according to sources. He missed many days of filming, supposedly. Conducting business in Miami, his spouse was left to protect their region alone, with some even whispering that he was spotted on vacation with an unidentified lady throughout the preparation of this ATL drama. When the actors received an invitation to a completed luxurious rooftop launch party with prospective press producers, messy, and sponsors, you just learned something. The glam dress code was in effect, although executives were on full-fledged red alert. Influencers from BH1 were present. There were drinks pouring around the walls. The tiniest spark and hot cameras may ignite a fire. Yandy appeared, serene without an entourage or drama, and just a pricey suit with iced hair and peace. Whereas her enthusiasm screams booked and busy. She waved, posed, and interacted without any concern. Rasheeda, she genuinely showed up in red, and spiritually she felt fire in her clothing. The tension between the infant and the eyes was intense. Even the security personnel were making sure. According to sources, Rasheeda walked immediately beyond the step and repeat, skipped the drinks and headed straight for Yandy, who was conversing informally with the producers, smiled half-heartedly, and Rasheeda allegedly said in a completely laden tone, "You're actually grinning at me out here whilst pilfering my transactions." Yandy, she grinned and cocked her head without flinching, courteously, and said, "I don't steal, see? Perhaps you ought to give it a try." Rasheeda then hit her without warning. Her slap-a was little impacted by reality TV, complete wrist twisting loudly enough to halt. The smack of the song caused a neighboring smack that the influencer dropped her phone reverberated across the roof like the world reacted with gasps and screams. Phones were ripped out and glasses broke like a fight on Black Friday. But it didn't end there. Mendy. It wasn't even mentioned on the guest list. He reportedly informed producers that he was not participating in this one. But the dude seemed to be a story twister clothed in put near the DJ booth in all black. Resembling, he awaited a quote, and when he witnessed his wife's face being slapped, he did not shout, did not inquire, and did not even blink. He approached and grabbed and smashed the champagne flute onto the table. He sat hard next to Rasheeda and murmured, "That's your one cautionary tale." Rasheeda grinned. Then, before she could say, "Boy, if you don't," Mendy watches you complete. That statement returned the favor with a quick, clean smack. Someone yelled, and direct security froze. Yandy softly stroked her face. She repositioned her earrings so that this was only another Tuesday. The music was cut by the DJ. The audience became quiet and Rasheeda tripped. A little surprised, and then chaos ensued. Producers hurried in with lax security. "Cut," yelled someone who had thrown a drink. Someone else attempted to separate the fight and got a heel to the chest in the crowd. The rooftop celebration escalated into a full-on. One crew member claims that abed the executive's wine glass fell. "And we're going viral tonight," murmured. The video is already being stored on. Nevertheless, what makes this more than the next thing that happened was a simple smack. Murmurs, audio leaks, and sponsors. Because what began as this impetuous moment was going to establish the what transpired with the burning franchise. The rooftop was only a precursor to the actual harm. It began as soon as the cameras stopped recording. Security dragged and wigs were secured. Rasheeda left the building as if she were a Bond villain who was off-brand. And as crazy as it was, observing Mendy remove the contour. Rasheeda's appearance before sponsors and leaders. That wasn't the narrative the actual thing broke the internet. A heated mic was the source of all the commotion. Several internal sources claim that, such as a hairdresser who unintentionally went live on Instagram for 12 Rasheeda, being touched up for a few seconds in the green room just prior to the celebration. In such a case, lip gloss edges the work. It was letting out loud, angry rage at the time. The microphone was still live without any filter. The camera continued to roll, and the audio it appeared online as a dropped album, regardless of whether she sobs. I want her to appear weak for once. She believes she is invincible. See how I create her melt? And the internet appeared instantly after that. Flipped. The tape lasted just 45 seconds. However, fans altered it with subtitles. It dropped it across after slowing it down. TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit inside minutes. The hashtag WigSnatcherGate hashtag, yes, they gave it that name because, of course. Moreover, this wasn't even the best part. More content leaks, this time in the form of a text message, purported screenshots from Rasheeda's group chat with her glitzy team. Said in the message, "If she comes for me, don't drag me back as I go." Another said, "This moment must strike, don't. Please allow me to freeze. Freeze up." That's rehearsal," he said. And that's when fans were aware of something even more sinister. This wasn't the fury of the moment. A 24-hour setup for TikTok developers was doing split-screen analyses. Look right here. Rasheeda takes her off earrings prior to going up to Yandy. She was aware that she would swing at one user. Even synchronized the audio from the leaking green room. Precisely when Rasheeda slapped Yandy's previous laughter swinging, it corresponds with the MC leak. Planned at the same time, Yandy stated not a single person, not even a hazy share. That quiet is potent because Rasheeda was yelling on social media. Yandy allowed the receipts to speak for her. Silently issue a cease and desist message to one website that posted the unaltered footage. But the time had come too late. One TikTok image of Mendy has gone viral. Before the slap reached 5, the glass was slammed. Overnight, the caption received millions of views. After warning her, he gave her the work, at which point sponsors began phoning. The event on the rooftop had been marketed as a media empowerment. Brand. For women fundraising, some of the sponsors were a high-end wig brand. A skincare firm, VC, was created by 2 women and a fitness drink. By the morning, 3 startups had left. The cosmetics company released a public declaration. We oppose violence of any type, particularly at a gathering. The wig company was created to encourage ladies. Sent a subtweet that got everyone excited. Gagging, we don't sell casualties. We sell crowns. If you kidnap someone, you're not a queen. After that, I arrived. According to sources, Rasheeda's PR team attempted to twist the facts to claim that she was prompted by her feelings to use the fact that she wasn't entitled to it. But the general public didn't buy it, particularly not following a second audio clip released information claiming she has been dishonest. I've been unwell since the day she arrived in Atlanta. Of acting as though I had to go to preserve my legacy, then whatever, in a matter of hours, it was on merchandise. Mendy notices that he hasn't finished yet. Released a 60-second video on Instagram that the next night, a black background with no caption. I didn't smack the woman. It was just his voice. I smacked her out of love and anger. Love guards you all because love protects you. Honor guys who lie and cheat on these demonstrations. But when one eventually takes to protect his wife, he is the bad guy. Team Mendy notices that the comments exploded. Had come? The post was overwhelmed with encouragement, resharing it with subtitles, such as genuine masculine vigor, and when husbands safeguard everyone who is in a panic. Critics rushed into the thought pieces. Numerous blogs with titles ranging from poisonous masculinity in a suit that matched his chivalry, confused or led one astray. Accused of having a very sloppy blog post, Mendy perceives a performative defense, implying that he scored PR by using the smack arguments and recast himself. As the people didn't care about reforming King, though. Instead of reading essays, they were reading. Yandy was observing TikToks, being referred to as the Queen of Peace and the picture of the class. Mother modifying her earring following being spanked before observing her husband. The meme slap Rasheeda back response, as well as a brief remix with Don't Injure Yourself While Playing Bianchi. Below, followed by Carly Red. Because what do hip-hop and love mean? Controversy without Carly showing up uninvited while sipping wine. And I told you everything. She went and she smiled. Live in a silk robe on Instagram and lounging by the pool with her caption ATL Ben. She pretended to speak endlessly. Carly didn't hesitate. Yandy entered with ego. Grace Rasheeda entered. The distinction one arrived to construct. She even implied that other people came to break. Rasheeda had been encouraging manufacturing to make a months-long drama arc. Cue guys. I don't think that smack was a moment. She pitched 3 storylines, including slap. I was there a few weeks ago, and with that, the internet exploded once more. Everyone was now wondering if the smack was real. Was Mendeecees' response staged or real? Was the entire event choreographed by Rasheeda? Did the producers know about camera time? After Mona Scott Young signs off, everything is okay. Another variation on cue, an unidentified production assistant is accused of disclosing an exchange of emails in which a top producer wrote, "Let's see whether she swings. Just keep the mix live if you require raw video." The email screenshot went viral. You all knew and allowed this to happen. This is manipulation, not television. Change.org was scrambled by the network. A petition to suspend Rasheeda was started. For violence against Black people on camera, women. 50,000 signatures were reached in the first 12 hours. But Kirk eventually revealed his face after being silent for days. Uploaded a monochrome image of he gazed up at the sky with the caption, "Remaining quiet is sometimes the loudest message." "Sir," one fan said. Next week, your wife was smacked and you're posting poetry out here. Another wrote, you've been feeling don't start. Unavailable for 14 seasons. And then Kirk returned without warning. Into hiding, but VH1 wasn't the only one affected. A bonus reunion was formally announced. Episode 2. Deal with the event on the rooftop. Not later, next week, not next season. Filming for the emergency had already begun. Additionally, the host was none other than Monty Slaughter, due to the fact that the declaration of an urgent reunion incident went viral on the blogosphere. In a matter of minutes, supporters were already forecasting the future, and once, according to VH1, Monty's murder was game on. Hosting, baby, because if you have any knowledge about Mendeecees, she avoids phony peace negotiations and she thrives on disarray and polite transitions. She was born to flourish in a stressful environment. Take a glass of red wine and soothe the pandemonium. In hand and a potentially slicing side-eye casting. Steele didn't take any time. Members were transported on contracts that were revised, and solicitors were assigned merely literally off-camera since this time. Legal representatives were waiting for the reunion. Began spectacularly with the first footage. They rolled the smack 3 times, not once or twice. Pauses, slow motion, and many angles the audience gasped in response to the comments. The cast were quiet as they sipped their tea. On one end of the sofa arms, Rasheeda took a seat. Crossed, obviously still angry with Yandy. Carefree in a silver gown, and not even a blink of the 1,000 heels occurred when sis, walk me, Monty murmured as he turned. Through the instant, her hand touched your face. In response, Yandy said, I could see she was weak when she swung. Rather than talk, that smack was about everything, not just me. The audience surged, but she lost. Rasheeda retaliated because she couldn't stand it. That swat was long overdue, sweetie. You've been pursuing me off camera. Dishonest and sneaky. And now you wish to pretend to be Saint Yandy. And just Mendy notices that it was on once more. Yandy's seatmate leaned forward and gave the night's most memorable line. I believed my wife was safe when I smacked her. You're fortunate, that's all you have. Applause, one producer whispered loudly. Clip that, Ben Mendeecees is no stranger to. The cold tension turned to Rasheeda and he inquired, so, are you pursuing legal action? Fees. Rasheeda was frozen by the audience, blinked, then nodded. We've had a conversation with the council. Physical retaliation occurred. There is a video that we are examining. Our Mendy laughs at the alternatives. Good luck. Flung the initial slap. They managed to get that in for thousands. But the story became more complex when, well, Monty dropped this bomb. Intriguing because the H1 legal verified that you signed an aggressive waiver before. Boom. Rasheeda's party seems astounded by Mendeecees' waiver. Remarked, pulling up a folder, the one where you consented to any bodily result while on page. The camera disagreements are right here. 3. The audience went crazy. Rasheeda turned not from her outfit, but from the red humiliation. She attempted to change course, asserting that she was duped. But it was also Twitter was already blazing late with hashtag page 3 and images of her that appeared to be served in the middle of the gathering. And just it became messier when it couldn't get much messier. Mendeecees looked at Kirk and said, yes, he arrived, and said, Kirk, you've been quiet the entire time. Contemplation on your wife is almost facing legal action. And Kirk groaned, scratched his beard, and slapped and said, I just believe that everyone needs healing. There was a burst of laughter in the audience. Yandy returned the clap, saying, your wife got rejected and abused on public television. While you're delivering Bible texts, mature conveniently. Carly Red added fuel to the fire in the middle of the segment. Through verification that Rasheeda had been cysts, has been planning this for months. Pleading with producers for a plot because she said, and I quote, if I get it, I'll toss my hands, Rasheeda said. Disputed it, but the harm had already been done. The audience turned and the atmosphere changed. In the rear, the crew were muttering, and following the reconnection, the repercussions followed. Blogs that were broadcast burst with titles like the reality TV reunion that was rocked by the Smack Rasheeda canceled fans, according to the Pandemonium recap. Demand that Yandy's glow-up be suspended. How to triumph without retaliating anew this time. A petition with 100,000 signatures urging Rasheeda to be taken from the hip-hop and future love seasons of deliberate violence, destructive manipulation, and brand sabotage masquerading as amusement in the meanwhile. Mendy has more than 200,000 new fans. Fans called him The Guardian in those days. He was named Zati of the Year by meme sites. One video showed him shouting and pacing backstage. "Where's my wife?" Became a remix featuring Yandy and Meek Mill's vocals kept quiet in public, but she did upload a now famous picture of her drinking wine in front of a hearth with the caption, "I like how unbothered I look." And Rasheeda's radio silence has always commented on her social media accounts going black. Shut-off brand deals disappeared, including her. All sales were discreetly suspended by the internet retailer. As a result of the reorganization, Mona, Scott Young's most outrageous turn of events, revealed a brand new spin-off show. Named Fallout from Reunion, love lies and lawsuits that are only focused on the scene from the first episode of this incident. The slap scene around the timeline. The program promises unique interviews with previously unseen footage and details about the development process behind the scenes dealt with the aftermath. And you know who's the producer? Yandy Smith Harris, executive. The same woman who was smacked indeed remained silent and left with more money. One fan said on Twitter, "Sis became an ADA producer, credit to it. Iconic." According to sources, Rasheeda, her group is thinking about rebranding, leaving hip-hop, and Love behind, launching a new cosmetics business, and perhaps embarking on a recovery trip. The streets, however, don't believe you. Due to the lack of edge control or tea for a flat stomach, one can make the past disappear. That evening, not when the video is available, not when memes last forever, and not while Mendeecees is still laughing elsewhere. She is holding a check. So we ask, did Rasheeda fall prey to reality TV, control, or the creator of her own Mendeecees downfall? Did she go too far? Sufficiently far? And did Yandy just return to love with the greatest clap? And the history of hip-hop by performing absolutely nothing. So now that the wigs have resolved and the legal actions are still continuing, I must inquire, which side are you on? Yandy's crew are leveling and enjoying wine. Team. Mendy observes that you are defending your queen. That all possible? Or are you still attempting to determine whether Rasheeda's slap was genuinely practiced or simply desperate? Since this was more than simply drama, it was also a brand-busting meme that changed franchises, creating a moment that might alter how reality TV unfolds indefinitely. The sponsors are being rushed by the producers, avoiding each other, and the supporters were consuming it's like Sunday supper in every shot. Yet we would want to speak with you. Should Rasheeda's suspension, did Mendeecees see anything that crossed the line? And in reality, is Yandy the most woman in the room because she drops your hand without ever having to raise it? The best opinion in the comments. Don't wait to return. Now's the time for you to leave, and remember to turn, like, and subscribe. On those alerts due to trust, this isn't even close to being over. There will be additional fallout if there are leaks. What does Mona Scott think about it? The upcoming episode will be much more chaotic.